All right, as we get to our forecast, we're getting a live look from Sky 2 over the coast of Galveston right there. It's still looking really pretty there, Frank.
Yeah, that's the east end right there.
Okay.
Those high rises are Palisade palms.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, and the East Beach is one of the few beaches probably in the world that actually grows. It does seeds rather than reseeds.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Down there.
It's looking beautiful, but they're going to have to start prepping for the threat of the tropics. What's brewing out there?
You know, it's really interesting because the euro came in, and there's certainly the threat for us. The American, not so much, but that's an older American model. The new American model will come in around 5:30, so we'll have that update at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So that's going to be, I think, that's going to be one of the big changes there.
The indicator's keeping you busy.
No. And then there's our weather. I mean, look at this.
I know. So the weekend, well, that doesn't look all that great.
That's Richmond.
Okay.
Right now?
So they're getting that.
Just a little earlier, yeah. So some of these big thunderstorms have been moving through.
Okay.
And we're going to continue to deal with at least a 20% chance in the heat of the day as we go through the next couple of days. Now, we still have this north wind, so a lot of you have had really pleasant weather. But you can see some of these thunderstorms still popping, especially just south of I-10 and then down into Fort Bend County and Sealy, and they continue right on down toward Matagorda Bay. So that's that. Triangle Energy camera right now, there's dew point 64 when it's below 70. Feels pretty good out there. It is 94, and in Galveston, that's not the chopper, is it? that's a nice down view picture. 90 degrees there, 59%. So it's a nice weekend to prepare for the possibility, even as early as Monday into Tuesday. We'll talk about the timing of the impacts coming up. You see the humidity pretty low for a lot of you, but winds are going to start shifting a little more humid as we get into the next couple of days. So here are my three concerns. The surge, water from two storms out there. One could give us 3 to 5 feet easily of storm surge, but you add even more on top of that. That's why we're at 4 to 8. The strength, the Gulf is at 86 to 90. There's a lot of warm fuel for these systems to really strengthen quickly. And then the light steering currents involved here could call for a stall, and that can always lead to very heavy rain. So here are the advisories again. 35 and 45 mile an hour winds. There's TD14. This is Laura. I'll put these in motion, and you can see this system, and this is based on the European, continuing to move off toward New Orleans. But look at the cones crossing. I have never seen crossing forecast cones in my entire career, but this is what I'm seeing right now, these crossing forecast cones. So, which means, I mean, feasibly, you know, if they both went here, that is an interesting idea that they might collide. We're going to talk about that at 4:30, so don't go anywhere. So you can see 65 mile an hour winds with us to 75, and then continuing into the Houston area as a very healthy tropical storm, into New Orleans on Wednesday as a hurricane. So there's the Gulf water. There's two storms out there, so we're going to have to watch for that. You can see there's plenty of warm fuel for these two systems. And now let's talk about the FUTURECAST and what's steering them. First of all, this is being tugged north by that low. Lows follow lows. So these highs are keeping them away from certain land masses, and we're the path of least resistance. So this is the American model, and you can see there's Laura going across Cuba, and here's TD14 going into the central and then the western Gulf. The question is, do they go north around this high and not being blocked by this high, or does this high take over here and push this system more into Brownsville, and consequently Laura ends up coming in our direction? That's what the American model says. So let me show you that. This is the American model, and there I'm going to stop it right there on Tuesday. This is Laura, and this is TD14. This is well to our south. There's Laura, and then look what happens with Laura. There's TD14. Here comes Laura on Thursday. So that's the American model. That's very different. That means that the one we're watching would miss us, and the one that is supposed to go to New Orleans comes here. Now this is the European. That has TD14 coming our way, and then Laura goes off toward New Orleans. So the National Hurricane Center right now is biting with the European model because it came in at about 3 o'clock. We're going to have to see what the American model ends up doing at 5:30. But the old American model, again, was this Laura coming our way and TD14 into Brownsville, whereas the European wants to bring the system into our area, TD14, and takes Laura into New Orleans. So I know it's up for grabs, so we just have to prepare for the worst. Now, the timing of all of this, based on the European, Sunday night, increasing tides. Monday afternoon, wind and rain. Tuesday, hurricane conditions all day from night until the afternoon and into the overnight. And then Wednesday, we get a break. And then we could see return of rain on Thursday because of leftovers leftovers that could come our way from the system, because I think we could see some stalling and some return of that. So the coastal impacts early next week, 4 to 8 foot storm surge, 8 to 12 inches of rainfall if anything stalls. If we've got a 10-mile-an-hour movement on the storm, 10 into 100 is 10 inches of rain. Hurricane force winds, high surf and rip currents, and possible water spouts. So we're going to have to watch for that. And then inland possible impacts, we got pretty much the same thing, but of course power outages would be a big problem, and water spouts and tornadoes for us. So with that in mind, we're just going to keep watching it and keep informing you as we know. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are the days to watch, unless the American model starts to play out, which means Thursday may be an issue for us also. But the weekend ahead is the time with just 20% chances for showers to really get things in order to prepare for any potential impacts next week.
Yeah, certainly time to prepare. Frank, thank you. We appreciate it.